and welcome back to Totley Talks. Wasn't the snow great, Izzy?
Yeah, and Happy New Year.
Coming up on this episode, we have an interview with Miss Cooper, look behind the scenes with Miss Barrett, and the student spotlight is Leah Smith, library monitor.
First up, behind the scenes, meet Tashvik and Esme.
Totley Talk!
Hi, it's Esme.
And Tashvik.
We are going to interview Miss Barrett today and ask a few questions about her job. Now let's get on with the questions. What's your favourite part of your job?
Oh, I think my favourite part is probably meeting and greeting everybody of Totley Primary School, helping the children and seeing lots of parents during the day because I'm quite a people person. So I think I like seeing lots of people.
What's frustrating about your job?
Oh, that's a good question. I think probably that I would like to split myself into 5 different Miss Barretts because I've got lots of different jobs to do in the day. So I'd like to do 5 things at once, but that's impossible, isn't it? So I think I'd like to do that.
If you did not work at Totley Primary School, what would you like to do for a job?
That's a really good question. Well, I always liked the idea of being a writer and an illustrator when I was younger. So maybe that. But my dream is still to be an artist, maybe, one day. You never know.
Sounds cool.
Thank you.
What do you mainly do in your job?
That's a good question as well. So I meet and greet the parents, the pupils and the visitors of Totley Primary School. I do the first aid. I give children medicine. I deal with injured children. I do lots of different admin jobs. I wish I had time to list them all, but I don't. Lots of different things.
How long have you worked here for?
I have worked here for 8 years now. Just over 8 years. Heading on 10.
Do you find your job hard?
I think everybody finds the job a little bit hard, but if you enjoy it, that makes it a little bit less hard. Even if it's hard, if you enjoy it, that's the main thing, isn't it?
How long do you think you will stay here for?
Oh, well, you know what? I've probably got another 30 odd years before retirement, so let's see. Let's see how long I last.
What's the most important thing in your job?
The most important thing is probably giving girls and boys medicine. Probably. That's a very important job because it's a bit like playing a nurse's job, and a nurse's job is a very important one, isn't it? So I feel a bit of a nurse.
Thank you for taking up your time today to do this, Miss Barrett.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed it.
Totley Talk! Hi, this is Harry and Simmy, and we're going to talk to Leah about her job as a library monitor. What is the most challenging thing about being a library monitor?
Probably getting someone else a book because you don't know what personalities they like.
What do you like about being a library monitor?
Being in the library and surrounded by books.
What does your job involve?
Checking through the shelves, seeing if they're in the right place and if there's any book eating a book.
How did you get the job?
I did a form at the start of the year, and Mrs. Croft chose me to be a library monitor.
You're a library monitor now. Would you like to be a librarian when you get older?
Probably as a volunteer, but I'll do another job at the same time.
If I become a library monitor in year 5, what quality do I need to be one?
You need to like reading and be happy surrounded by books.
Wasn't it exciting to talk to Leah? Totley Talk!
Hi, this is Erin and Emmy on Totley Talk.
Today we will be interviewing Miss Cooper to find out more about her role at Totley Primary School.
Let's get started with the interview. Could you tell us about your role as a Year 3 teacher in a Senko?
Absolutely. So Monday to Wednesday I teach in Year 3 as a class teacher, and I do all the normal stuff teachers do: maths, English, history, geography, guided reading, and I love it. But then the other half of my week I am the Senko, which means the Special Educational Needs Coordinator, which means I support all of our children in school who have additional needs. So that might be autism, it might be speech and language, it might be attachment difficulties, and I just kind of oversee and make sure that they get all the support that they need in school. I meet with their parents, I meet with specialists, I support with their transition to secondary school, and just generally make sure they're happy, because if they're happy, that's when they'll learn.
What is the most difficulty of being a Senko teacher?
One of the biggest challenges of being a Senko is there's not a lot of money to do all the amazing things we want to do. So sometimes we have to be really clever with what we've got in school. So for example, Mr. Flevel and I have set up a gross motor circuit where children practice all things like balancing and moving and running and going through like little tunnels, and it just helps develop lots of different skills, not just their learning. But we've done that within school, and we've had to be really clever with time and money. And obviously if I had a magical pot of money where I could spend whatever I wanted, I'd get so much, but we haven't got that, so we just have to be clever. And I think that's the most challenging thing, I would say.
If I want to be a Senko teacher when I'm older, can I have some tips?
Absolutely. I would say the biggest tips are being able to see when children are making progress, because sometimes that progress can be so tiny that you might not notice it, but being able to step back and zoom in and say, oh, it's amazing because yesterday they couldn't do this, but today we can do this, or they're more confident, or they're more independent. And I think top tips for being a Senko would be just getting loads of help and support. There's loads of specialists that come into school and they have loads of knowledge, and I literally just ask them loads of questions. I'm like, boom, 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 and they're like, whoa, by the time they've left. But actually, I've got loads of knowledge from that. And don't be afraid to say you don't know the answer, because then you can find out.
What are the positives of being a teacher and Senko?
The positives of being a teacher and a Senko is I get like the perfect balance of being in class and like teaching you guys, and then at the same time being able to step back and kind of support the school as a whole. So working with Mr. Paxman, for example, about who's going to be where, who's supporting who's on lunchtime duties, and kind of being able to see that influence across school. So I'm able to help on the ground, actually in lessons, helping you with your learning, but then at the same time being able to help everyone in school, and how can I make our whole school a better place.
That was great. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for choosing me. I'm absolutely flattered.
And thank you for spending up your time to speak with us.
My pleasure.
Bye.
See you soon.
Totley Talk!
Wasn't that interesting? Yeah, and it was great. Never knew that Miss Cooper was a Senko. And I never knew what Leah did with her lunchtime. Now I know. Goodbye. That was episode 3 of Totley Talks.